What's up, everybody? So today we'll be reading Matthew chapter 28. I'm reading from the NLT, the New Living Translation, also from the Geneva Bible, the 1560 edition. So in the last chapter, we learned about the trial of Jesus, his torture, and then the crucifixion of Jesus. And in this chapter, we're going to learn about the good news, right? About the resurrection of Jesus. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. Matthew chapter 28. Early on Sunday morning, as the new day was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went out to see the tomb. Suddenly there was a great earthquake, because an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and rolled aside the stone and sat on it. His face shone like lightning, and his clothing was as white as snow. The guards shook with fear when they saw him, and they fell into a dead faint. Then the angel spoke to the woman. "Don't be afraid," he said. And it's so interesting. All throughout the Old Testament, whenever the angels would show up to people, that first thing they always say is, "Don't be afraid," right? So angels probably don't look like what you see in cartoons, right? The chubby little kids with little wings or whatever, right? Every single time they appear to people, they say, "Do not be afraid," first and foremost. I just think it's pretty cool. "I know you're looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He isn't here. He had been raised from the dead, just as he said would happen. Come, see where his body was lying, and now go quickly and tell his disciples he had been raised from the dead, and he is going ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there. Remember, I have told you." The women ran quickly from the tomb. They were very frightened, but also filled with great joy, and they rushed to find the disciples to give them the angel's message. As they went, Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said, and they ran to him, held his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus told them, "Don't be afraid. Go tell my brothers to leave for Galilee, and they will see me there." As women were on their way into the city, some of the men who had been guarding the tomb went to the leading priests and told them what had happened. A meeting of all the religious leaders was called, and they decided to bribe the soldiers. They told the soldiers, "You must say, 'Jesus' disciples came during the night while we were sleeping, and they stole his body. If the governor hears about it, we'll stand up for you, and everything will be all right." So the guards accepted the bribe and said what they were told to say. Their story spread widely among the Jews, and they still tell it today. So it's interesting to notice here, right? So you saw the Pilate. He knew that Jesus was innocent, yet the Pharisees and the religious leaders arrested him and brought him in because of their envy, right? And here they spoke about this like, "Hey, go seal the tomb, right? Put some guards on it, because we don't want the disciples to come and steal it." So he does that. There's guards, right? Always about witnesses. It's always about witnesses throughout the Bible, right? So these two guards witness what happened. They go and tell the priest, like, "Hey, listen, this crazy thing happened. The angel appeared, right? The stone got rolled aside. Jesus was not there." And instead of accepting that and be like, "Oh my goodness, we just killed the Messiah. He is who he said he is." Instead of doing that, their hearts are still so, cold and like stone, that they refuse to believe it still, and they tell the other people to lie and will help you lie, and also bribe them with money. So pretty sad to see. But anyways, let's continue. Then the 11 disciples left for Galilee, going to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some of them still doubted. So we'll learn more about the ones that are still doubted in the other books. Jesus came and told his disciples, "I have been given complete authority in heaven and on earth." I'm going to say that again. I have been given complete authority in heaven and on earth, right? "Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations," not just the Jews, right, but of all nations. So throughout the Old Testament, or throughout this book in Matthew, we saw, right, how the Gentiles were kind of separate from the Jews, and the Gentile woman came and asked for help, and Jesus said, "I'm here to kind of help my own people," but she's like, "Well, even the dogs take little crumbs that fall from the master's table," right? And he said, "You know what? Your faith saved you. Pretty much go on." And so here now, after his resurrection, now Jesus is saying, "Go to all the nations and spread the good news," right? So therefore, go and make disciples of all the nations, Baptize them in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commandments I have given you. And be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Anyways, guys, what a beautiful story, right? We see the resurrection of Jesus. He tells his disciples, some of them are afraid, some of them begin to worship him, some of them are doubting him. We're going to learn about the ones that are doubting him in the later books, right? They just pretty much, it's such a crazy experience for them, right? So they need some sort of a proof, which a lot of the times we need to have, right? Proof. And how little faith do you need or do you have when you constantly need some sort of a proof and reassurance? I fall into that all the time, right? But then he tells them to go to all the nations, spread the good news, teach them what I have taught you, right? The commandments that I have given you guys. And he's going to be always there with you, even to the end of the age. Thank you so much for sticking with me through Matthew 20, through the book of Matthew. We'll be going into Mark next. As always, I love you guys. God bless you and your families, and take care.